Hey, peace and blessings to you. Welcome to Artist Impact. I'm your host, Jere B. This show is all about great music of every genre. We highlight singers, bands, musicians, poets, and rappers from our local region and from all over the world. Now, most of them you've never heard of before, but we bring them right to your door to encourage them and to impact their career. Now, on our show today, we're featuring two incredible artist from New York, the ever gifted and multi-talented Margaret Avery. Margaret, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jerry.
Appreciate you being here. And from right in our own backyard, from Hubbard, Ohio, a brilliant singer-songwriter who I've personally had the pleasure of working with. This is Mr. Nick Adduci. Nick, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. But making the greatest impact on these artists are three top entertainment professionals whom I call my panel of love. Now, what they're going to do is review and critique the videos that Margaret and Nick sent in to see if in some way, somehow, they can impact their career. Maybe, maybe not. That's what we're here to find out. But let's introduce today's panel. First and foremost, a brother for real, full-time brother, part-time band member, always singer-songwriter. This is Jim Couchenour. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, Jerry. It's good to be here. Good to be with you.
Good to have you, man. And my sister in spirit, always lighting the stage up, wonderful jazz singer. This is Maria Jacobs. Maria, welcome to the show.
Hello. Good to be back. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
His name is Russ Paladino, and he's one of the hardest working saxophonists in the world, specifically the East Coast. This is the East Coast jazz guru, Russ Paladino. What's going on, man?
Hey, Jere B. Great to see you. Great to be with you always.
Always. I feel the same way, my friend. Welcome to the show. And Jim, we've worked together a long time. And one thing I know about you is you compose about a song a week, something like that. Tell me, what is your definition, my friend, of a great song?
Well, you surprised me there, but let me think. Off the top of my head, something that grabs your emotions and something that right away you just feel a heart connection to. At least that's the way I would describe it, is when I hear something, if I just really feel a connection right away, and it's more of an emotional thing than a kind of a intellectual thing. So yeah, that's how I would describe it.
Great description. Welcome, brother. I appreciate you, man. And Maria, I've seen your show live, and wow, you really keep your audiences enthralled. Can you tell me, what is your secret for maintaining these multiple moments of engagement that I've seen? How do you do that?
You just answered your own question. I think you just, it's about being engaged. It's about engagement. And I think if the artist who's delivering the performance is engaged, then I think the audience will feel something.
Well, we always do. I know I do every time I see you perform live. I so appreciate you being here. Absolutely. And I know a little bit about your schedule, Russ, just a tiny bit, man. But here's a question I want to ask you. How do you balance your demanding schedule and still stay so very involved with the beautiful and amazing family you have? How do you do that?
Well, I would have to say I put family first and then fit everything else in around it. So as best I can. My family is very forgiving.
You do a great job, and you're a wonderful person, man. I love you so much. Thank you for being my brother.
Love you too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I've known of you for a couple years, Margaret, and we've dialogued online, but the depth of your talent is absolutely amazing. You've sent in this wonderful song called Left Behind. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the song was born out of conversation with Miranda Glory, who I collaborated with on this song, and personal experience. And connecting that to the present day when there's so much gun violence, it's so disturbing. And I wanted to write something about the title of the song, those people, all of us who are left behind, there you are trying to go through your day to day. And you can't really talk about it all the time because no one really wants to hear. And you just, you're carrying this weight, in your heart. And, I know in my own personal experience, I had a hard time talking to people, even therapists. They didn't want to listen, so I bottled up. You get quiet, you go through the motions, you keep yourself busy, you just to push down the melancholy so you could just keep going through your life.
Wow.
So,
was an excellent video. I think you conveyed it well. Would you give us permission to play it for our audience?
oh yes, absolutely. Be my pleasure.
Very much.
Too sad to cry, too mad to scream, and too hopeless to pray. Too much to bear, too much to say, and no one's even listening. A piece of me is missing. There's no replacing or fixing, so this is for the left behind, the ones still here that don't know why. This is for the pain we hide, or at least I know we try. This is for the left behind. We're blessed and cursed with time. This is for peace of mind, 'cause we're still here and trying to survive. I train my eyes not to cry, but it's pouring tears on the inside. No one sees the hearts that bleed. They don't want to see past the disguise. A piece of me is missing. There's no replacing or fixing, so this is for the left behind, the ones still here that don't know why. This is for the pain we hide, or at least I know we try. This is for the left behind, who are blessed and cursed with time. This is for peace of mind, 'cause we're still here and trying to survive. We stand like soldiers, standing shoulder to shoulder, living with a bond that's unspoken. It can never be broken. The ones still here left behind and don't know why. The pain we hide, at least I know we try. This is for the left behind, who are blessed and cursed with time. This is for peace of mind, 'cause we're still here and trying to survive. Ooh, we're still here trying to survive. Ooh, this is for the left behind.
That was a beautiful ballad. Margaret Avery, Left Behind. Jim, what do you think?
When I first heard it, I immediately knew what the message was, and I was intrigued by the title because I didn't know from that what it was, but it didn't take long at all to know exactly where the song was coming from, and it was a powerful song.
Absolutely. Maria.
Yeah, it was so impactful, and the video really supported everything you were singing about. A lot of emotion in your voice. So, yeah, mission accomplished.
Thank you.
Wow. Russ, what do you have to say, brother?
Well, the thing that I gauge great music by is authenticity. And without a doubt, I mean, you definitely can feel that you've gone through this experience and conveyed it so beautiful in this song. So congratulations. And I'm sorry.
Very, very cool. Very heartfelt. Jim, why don't we just go in just a little deeper and you ask Maria some questions and go in on your thoughts on the song.
Yeah, well, you kind of answered one of my questions, Margaret, which was there a personal experience you had? And it sounds like there was, and you can tell from not only the writing of the song, but the way you performed it. It was really heartfelt. The one line I loved when I first heard it, I think it's in the chorus where it says, "Who are blessed and cursed with time."
Yes.
And I just thought, wow, that's really intriguing, because time is a blessing, but if you've gone through a tragedy like that, I could see where it could be a curse as well. And you have to hold that in tension. And you spoke to that a little bit earlier on in the interview tonight. So that was good. That was really good. In terms of the video, I thought it was great. If there were only a couple things I would suggest for maybe next time or for you to consider, I would have liked to seen more B-roll of you, not necessarily just singing, but just kind of thinking and contemplating, and maybe a shot of you walking as you're singing, and just thinking about what the message is. And the same with the other B-roll. I think that if you showed a little bit more of the emotion of the people who are left behind, because that's really, I think, the essence of the song is getting into the mind and the heart of the person that's experienced that tragedy. And so if you can show that a little bit more with the B-roll that you have throughout the video, I think that would have been really good too. It was great the way it was, but these are just like minor tweaks that I think would be good. And what I like to do, I work in video production, and sometimes with B-roll, like where you broke to the the people gathered around. Sometimes I like to shoot that in black and white and then put a vignette around it, because it just kind of gives you that somber feeling that you're trying to portray during this song, and showing the people that were left behind. So yeah, overall, I think the only other thought I would have is just if you could, throw some string arrangements in there. I kept hearing some strings in my mind as the song was playing. There are strings. Okay, cool.
In it, yes.
Yeah.
And
so
the videographer and I did discuss the black and white, and we chose not to.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yep.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much, Jim. Maria, what do you have to say to Margaret?
Hey, congratulations. And you have an amazing voice. There's a richness in your voice, and it really pulled out a real sad texture that was just perfect for the message you were sending. I do have some really specific comments musically. It was very well constructed: verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, and then the chorus out. And it was just a real short, I don't know if you considered it a pre-chorus or just the end of each verse, but there was like a 2-bar, very different kind of sounding thing that led into the chorus. So that's what I'm calling the pre-chorus. I did notice that, and I think I know why you did it. As a writer, we want that hook to be stuck in people's heads, and it is stuck in mine. This is for the left behind.
Yes.
Right? I'm trying to get that right. I would say what you did at the end, you varied that interval, and you didn't do the same, like you did it 4 times in a row on the first 2 verses, on the first 2 choruses before you got to the bridge. And I would say that variation that you did at the end, you went up to that big note, the high note, that was great. And then when you came down to the rest of the chorus, you kind of staggered that interval with something different in between. And I would just maybe invite you to explore that a little bit when you're doing your choruses the first time through, before the bridge comes in. But that might be something interesting to kind of just vary it a little bit, because that interval is stuck in my mind, and it would be, even if it only happened twice in each of those first 2 choruses. I would also like to hear, I couldn't tell if there was an electric bass that wasn't mixed real loud, but I love that you built and you saved the percussion for the end. I love the strings. And I would just have loved to heard like a weeping, a little bit of a Marcus Miller kind of electric bass up front that would really just add even more bottom to this already really impactful tune, that slide and that high note that you went up to, that was wonderful. I thought the ending was brilliant. Just, I wouldn't have ended it any other way. It was wonderful. And I also, like Jim, wrote down "Blessed and Cursed with Time." That is a very, very impactful lyric that really says everything. So
thank you.
yeah.
I will just say that the musicians I worked with and collaborating on this song, I had the same request for that kind of crying guitar to go up, and we tried it, and it didn't really work. It didn't
Okay.
it didn't seem to work, and so we edited it.
Yeah.
But we did try.
Good. That's good to know. I mean, it all depends. These ideas are great. All those things that really depend on the musicians that you're working with. Everyone's got to collaborate and feel good about it. So I understand that.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Russ, Paladino, my friend.
Margaret, again, I was very touched by this song, and the way you performed it, I knew instantly that this was more than you merely, composing a song and singing a song because you thought it would be a great topic. It was personal to you, and that's coming through in your performance. And like I said, to me, that's everything, is to feel that real connection with the music. I would differ with Jim maybe a bit in the sense that because the emotion of the lyric and your performance is just so riveting and powerful in and of itself, I like the spare production and not throwing in certain things like the weeping guitar and things like that, because they're obvious, and it keeps the focus directly on you. I felt like I was focused into you throughout the entire song. Your vocal performance was beautiful. The lyrics beautiful. I felt, it's funny because I found out today that you're also an actor, and I was thinking as I was listening to it that this would be wonderful as maybe the centerpiece of a one-woman show, or something in a play or a movie or something like that, because it's also very visual. Did you have anything in mind in that regard?
Well, always. Almost every song I've ever recorded lends itself to film score, and that's what I'm kind of working towards.
Mm-hmm.
And not that was my intention when I first started this song, actually, but in the end, it does because of the message. And so, yes, thank you.
Excellent. Well, those were some very perceptive perspectives. Can you say that 3 times fast? Margaret, you've heard what the panelists have had to say. Do you have any questions or any pushback of your own?
Well, I just have to say to you all, thank you very much for your feedback. This was a labor of love. Took 2 years to get this song and video. And the video we just finished this year. But the song itself and recording it took 2 years, because it took me almost 2 years to stop crying. I tried to sing this song until I finally was able to sing it straight through and record it. And we did experiment a lot instrumentally in a variety. I mean, I worked with great musicians here in New York, and you always try different things when you're in a studio to see, and if it doesn't work or it doesn't sound right, it's just like, no, this is not working. And you have to make that decision right then and there. And the same with the video. Bill Westmoreland was the videographer and director. And it's because of him that I even have this video, because he approached me about doing a video. He's amazing. And we had many, many conversations, and he loves black and white as much as I do. And we did play around with that. And we have some black and white that we had done. It didn't fit. It didn't work. It took a lot of time and experimenting and working through things to get this final result. And I would say that after I released the video, it was about 10 days ago now, the comments and emails that I have received have exceeded any hope that I had for it being relatable and being important to people. And this is really important to me. So that's the end result of this project. So I'm keeping it as it is.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to leave Manhattan for just a few minutes and we're going to come to Hubbard, Ohio. Again, Nick Adduci. It's almost insane that I have an opportunity to work with such a brilliant songwriter, man. But you've sent in this great tune called All the Love. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, All the Love in the World is a song that was featured on my second album called United Music 2, which I recorded at Peppermint Studios in Youngstown, Ohio. A great historic place, worked with some great people. And the video is taken from a live performance at the Wickyards, which is a venue in Youngstown.
Yeah, man. Very good tune. If you don't mind, we'd love to play it for our audience. Can we do that?
Absolutely.
Southern lady, moonshine baby, I want to know you, dear. I like to be the light in your dark, hot Dixie night. How do I make it clear? All the love in the world, all the love in the world, all the world that I can hold you, hold in your
I thought that was a great performance. Nick Adduci, all the love. Jim, what do you got for us?
Nick, I don't know if you're too young for this, but I immediately thought of the Beatles for some reason. That tune just really, I mean, I could hear John Lennon in it, you know, so great tune. Great job, guy.
Thank you.
Maria.
I echo what Jim just said. I thought the same thing, specifically a song they did called Across the Universe. If you really listen to that song, when you get into your chorus, I think you could sing it over the change. You had more minor chords than they do in that chorus, but it was just very reminiscent of the Beatles. Thank you for that.
Wow.
Well, but they stole my thunder there, because that was what I was going to say. Is the first thing I heard was the ghost of John Lennon channeling through you, and that's a great thing, because I love the Beatles and I love John Lennon. So if that's a little bit of where you caught your inspiration, more power to you.
That's fantastic. Well, let's go in a little bit more. Jim, have at it, my friend.
All right. Yeah, Nick, when I heard the song, what I like, I think most about it is just the feel. You know, you're strumming, like the tempo was just right on, and it just kind of had a smooth groove to it. You know, I felt like the tempo was consistent, and there weren't any, changes up or down or whatever, and you just kind of, really settled into it. And again, it reminded me of the Beatles for some reason, and it sounds like the others felt the same way. I really liked at the very end when you went to the major seventh chords, and it was just like it was the same kind of progression, but it was just a kind of a fresh, like, ooh, okay, that's kind of interesting. And I think the only suggestion I would have is to maybe bring those a little bit earlier in the song, like at each turnaround. Maybe jump to those major seventh chords, but if not, it was just a real nice kind of a difference in the song that just added a nice touch. As far as the video, I know it was live and the lighting was bad. I really wanted to see you and really connect with you as a person, because I think when you do your final video, and I hope you do, we need to see more of you, the artist and the guy that's performing. So just, and I know it was live and it was probably, just off the cuff, but yeah. And the other thing is I could hear maybe a cajon, with you. I think if you were to do that and just had a little percussion or even just a cajon player, I don't know what kind of band you have or if you have a band, but I don't know, for some reason I was hearing that as you were playing as well. So overall, great tune, guy, and appreciate you sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Very, very cool. Maria.
Yeah. Hey, Nick. So, yeah, you were even singing about all the love in the world completely sounds like a Beatles title. Your voice was very reminiscent of the Beatles. The tune was constructed like a Beatles song. And are you hip to the tune Across the Universe by the Beatles?
Sure am. I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Obviously you are, so
Yeah.
You do. Believe it was on the White Album, but it was just so very reminiscent. I was singing, when you got to the chorus of your tune, I was singing the beginning, the first verse of theirs. And I just thought, wow, man, this guy is in tune. He's really in tune. And your voice just really floated on top of your guitar. There was just a real nice melding of instrument with voice. And I agree with Jim. I understand that was a live video. I wish your videographer, which might have been an iPhone, I wish that they had framed you a little bit better. So, like Jim said, we could have seen your face. You were kind of turned away a little. And I bet that club is real hip to be in person. But the lighting, the green light, it distracted from you. It drew away from you. It's like that was the main focal point. That's where everybody's eyes went, at least in a video. I don't know what people are experiencing when they're in the club, but if you get an opportunity to do a video for that song, I think that would be the best possible thing for you. I know money is tight for everybody, but if you could hire a real good, real smart videographer, and if you want to be reminiscent of the Beatles orally, maybe go back and research some of their videos and check out and see what they did and be reminiscent of their video style too.
Sure.
I just think I think that would be a really cool thing for you to tap into, because that song and your sound is good enough for a video airplay for sure. Is it on all the streaming networks? Did you release it yet?
Yeah, that's been released, but not the version that you heard. The studio version is out.
Okay, great. Good for you. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent. Russ.
Nick, I want to reiterate, I really enjoyed this, and it struck a chord with me. And I think one of the reasons why is because I'm always looking in a song for, can this song be played and sung simply with a guitar and a voice and connect and get across, because it could always be produced and it could always be built up, and for a young man like yourself to come with that kind of maturity in your songwriting and excellent guitar playing, accompaniment, and your voice, you have all the makings of greatness there. Say that during the song, it kind of came around to the same kind of verse chorus thing several times, and then when you did hit that major 7 section there, the only thing that occurred to me there was, boy, that would sure have been a great time to come with something lyrically that's kind of like the message, like a pounding home the message or the revelation or something, because you lifted the whole spirit of everything at that moment. And but I mean, even working that instrumentally, it had that kind of effect anyway. Have you ever heard of an artist named Fionn O'Loughlin?
No, I don't think I have.
You should check him out, because along with the Beatles flavor, he's Irish, obviously, and he had a similar vibe, and I heard some of that as I was listening to your music too. And you might pick up some production ideas in terms of how you approach this song and maybe some other music that's like this, where it's singer-songwriter type music. He's big on using mandolins and single cello and things like that, which I think would only just decorate your song and support what you're already doing, which is carrying the message and carrying the song forward, in a real authentic and beautiful way.
I'll have to check him out.
Wonderful advice. Absolutely wonderful. Well, Nick, you've heard what all of the panelists have had to say. Do you have any questions of your own, any pushback?
Well, first I want to say thank you. I'm always grateful for the opportunity to audition my songs before a esteemed panel of professionals such as yourselves. I do appreciate all your comments. I'm definitely going to have to check out Fionn O'Loughlin, you said his name was?
Fionn O'Loughlin.
I'm sure that's some crazy Irish. Right, I'm sure that's some crazy Irish spelling. So yeah, you better send that link to me. Yeah, and it was a live show, in a dim lit old joint. It used to be a funeral home, the place that I was playing at. Really cool joint. After the show, they took us on a tour of the morgue and stuff that was in there. But I know what you mean about the videography, and I am attracted to the Beatles and their style musically, their image, and their videos. So I'm gonna look into that for sure. But that's about it for me. I appreciate all you guys having me on here.
Definitely. Well, panelists, just stick around. We have to bring Margaret back in because I want to find out from the both of you. I know that your schedules are hot and heavy as indie artists, but Margaret, anything coming up that is very particular that you want our audience to know about?
Well, I'm in the sort of concept phase again with Bill Westmoreland, who's the videographer and director of my video. And he wants to do a video of another song of mine that I get a lot of radio play with, and so we'll be working on that. It's a different vibe. It's a little sexy and love stories.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be looking out for that one as well. And Nick, what's happening with you, my friend?
Well, right now I'm actually in the studio working on my third full-length album. Most recently, Jere, you and I worked on an EP of mine, which was some unreleased material that we put out. But I'm back in the studio at Peppermint, recording again. I got a bunch of shows lined up here in the Youngstown area, and I'm working with a couple guys too as far as a band. A couple of those shows I'm going to have some live accompaniment, but most of them it's just going to be me and the guitar. That's the way I roll. So that's what I'm up to.
I hear you, and I heard tell that you were going to be featured on a new Sound Doctrine single at some point. We'll talk about that later, right?
Yes, indeed, and that's coming up most recently here, and that's what you really pushed me out of my comfort zone with that. You were singing this track that it's going to be great. I'm telling you this right now. The accompaniment especially, and my voice. I hope I can do it justice.
You already have. But here's the thing, we have some more busy panelists, and I need to know from them exactly what's happening. I know, again, Jim writes a song a week. So, Jim, are you still on your writing schedule? You have some performances coming up?
Mainly just writing and building a YouTube channel. I've got a YouTube channel I started a little over a year ago, and I post one music video every Monday morning. And it's been going well. It's getting some traction, and it's all original stuff. So it's called Music from the Cabin.
Very, very cool. Just like it says down below your screen here. Music from the Cabin. Maria, I know your spring is on fire. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I do have a show coming up in the spring at Blue Jazz, which is an Akron club that's becoming a big deal. And I'm in the studio working on a couple of albums myself. I'm making my first full-length Christian album, and kind of an ongoing project I've been writing, and going to start recording with Tommy Coster. He's doing the production. He's doing the producing on that. So
very, very cool. Russ, your schedule's out of this world, man. What's the one thing you want us to know, bro?
Just that I have some exciting recording projects happening with some great musical people. Mike Stern is on one of the things that I just recorded on, and I'm working on a lot of composing all the time, and I'm just grabbing the gigs as they come.
And they keep coming and coming and coming. You guys are exceptional. Margaret, you're an exceptional singer, songwriter, and actor. We look to hear more from you in the future. Nick, brilliant all the way around. Love you like a little brother. In fact, we share a birthday within 24 hours. So, you're real cool. Jim Couchenour, Maria Jacobs, and Russ Paladino, our wonderful, wonderful panelists. We thank all of you. That's going to do it for this round of Artist Impact. Again, Jim Couchenour, panelists, Maria Jacobs, and Russ Paladino. And what did you think? Margaret Avery, wow. And Nick Adduci. Make sure that you support them by attending one of their shows, buying their music and their merch. And if you are an artist and you have an original performance music video, submit it to artistimpact.armstrong@gmail.com. Let's see if we can impact your music career. I'm your host, Jere B. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. God bless.